Susan Bradley for CSO Online. Recently there was a CrowdStrike blog that talked about how attackers are targeting a specific industry, in particular agriculture. But what caught my eye was how they ensured they were able to steal the credentials in the firm. This section right here. 5 minutes after gaining access to the host, the adversary modified the registry to implement a widely known procedure that enables credentials to be stored in clear text within memory. Guess what that setting was? Our old friend wdigest. It reminded me that over a year ago I wrote up an article on how to prevent and stop the use of wdigest's credential threat. Clearly we haven't learned the lessons from even a year ago. Attackers are using these old attacks because they still work, and they work well. There's two excellent posts out there on a blog site that have some really good information about how credential dumping works. There's a part 1, and then it goes on to part 2, which shows how to mitigate credential stealing. Now I'm going to once again urge you to proactively set the wdigest setting to 0 to block the ability to store plaintext passwords. You want to push out the registry key located at HKey local machine, system, current control set, control, security providers, wdigest. You want to set the value of use logon credential of 0. If you do that, wdigest will not store credentials in memory. Now, since Server 2008 R2, by default, the operating systems don't do this, attackers will go back and set this setting to 1 in order to enable it. So you want to set this proactively to 0, and then if you have the ability to monitor registries, you want to monitor this to make sure no attacker comes in and changes the value. Another recommended setting to do is to set LSASS in protected mode. LSASS, or Local Security Authority Subsystem Service, is a process in Microsoft Windows operating system that is responsible for enforcing the security policy on the system. It writes to the Windows security log and verifies users logging onto a Windows computer or server, handles password changes, and creates access tokens. If you go to the registry key HKey local machine system, current control set, control, LSA, and then set the value of the registry key to run as PPL with the D word of 1, and you want to reboot your system, it makes sure it protects those credentials. If a third-party system is using LSASS, the functionality could break if it doesn't adhere to certain mandates. You'll want to check to see the impact in your firm before you do this firm-wide. Specifically, you'll want to review any third-party authentication platforms or applications to ensure they will not be impacted by this setting. This next recommended setting, setting cache credential settings, may not be able to be done, especially in work-from-home mode. It specifically may impact VPN usage. In Windows systems, the cache credentials for the last 10 domain users is stored within the registry key at HKey local machine security cache. If you want to adjust that setting, you go to the policy at Local Security Policy, Local Policies, Security Options, Interactive Login, and then you set the number of previous logins to cache. Now you may wish to set this to 0 or a low setting if your on-premise assets don't move around. You may not want to do this on laptops, so keep that in mind and test your settings accordingly. Credential Manager is another location that can hold network passwords. Again, you may want to adjust this so it does not do that proactively. There are quite a few well-known tools out there, Nersoft being one of them, that has tools that allow you to expose the credentials saved in this file. This tool easily decrypts and displays the passwords that are stored in credential files of Windows. It's an easy download and an easy look to see what's saved on your systems. If you have Windows 10 Enterprise, you're even better. You can use Windows Defender Credential Guard. Now, all the previous settings that I recommended can be done with plain old Windows 10 Pro. Credential Guard, the best protection of all, can only be done with Windows 10 Enterprise or Education. So, as always, check to see your resources, check to see what you can put in place, and protect accordingly. Attackers want to go after your usernames and passwords, so make sure you're doing everything you can to protect those. And as always, check out the videos on the IGT Tech Talk YouTube channel. Until next time, this is Susan Bradley for CSO Online. Stay safe, stay secure.